At this point, hell feels like a slap on the wrist for Diddy, man. There ain't another place Diddy could go that could really feel like a punishment, somewhere worse than hell, somewhere beneath Satan. Because what Diddy has been accused of is sick. The initial accusations were sick, but we just keep hearing more. Now, this time around, I was watching Art of the Dialogue when they were talking about the latest Diddy lawsuit. And the details of this lawsuit even had Jane Dale, Diddy long-term bodyguard, grimacing.
He also alleging that Diddy, forced him to give him blowjobs.
Oh my God. So you telling me that in the lawsuit, and I seen it, man, that he forced him to sing in the mic. And it wasn't in the studio.
Yeah, that's what he claiming.
Yo, bro, it's crazy. It's real crazy.
When the story of your deviancy got grown men shedding tears, bro, you know you wrong, bro. The crazy part isn't even the act itself, because, bro, Diddy been flexible since the 90s, bro. We seen him dance, man. Flexible. So if Diddy was engaging in these acts consensually, that'll be one thing, bro. But he taking it. He taking the cheeks. He taking the pipe, even when they don't want to give it up. And that's the sick part. Now, lawsuits like this will be treated like all the other Diddy rumors, but that's until Terrence Howard came out, and Terrence Howard detailed some similar accusations against Diddy. Now, in the case of Terrence Howard, he don't need a clout chase. He don't need attention. He's being interviewed by the biggest podcast anyways. So for him to come out and say this about Diddy is very credible. Now, he started speaking on Hollywood in general and how these dudes will come into Hollywood and they will give up their manhood. And they will give up their manhood for things outside of their manhood like success, money, fame, and fortune. And Terrence Howard will say, them not understanding the greatest gift they have is their manhood. And when they give it up so cheaply, it end up coming back to bite them in the behind. Pause. No Diddy.
There's a short life in
Why do you think
world.
that is? What the creative side is?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far. Who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what Heath had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy.
This man don't be acting. If you watch Empire, then you understand that this is his character. This is Lucius Lyon we're currently watching in this interview. That man was not acting in Empire. Now, I would disagree in terms of, engaging in those activities don't necessarily mean your manhood gets taken. I feel like your manhood gets taken if you're only doing it for a come up, right? You're doing it for some paper, you're doing it for success. But if you are born that way and your sexual identity leans that way and, you are born bisexual, homosexual, and you're doing it for self-gratification, then I don't feel like you're losing your manhood. You lose your manhood to me when you come into the industry straight. And then after one dinner date with Diddy and he's offering you to make you rich and famous and you go under that table and you start hawk tooling, you's a freak, bro. You's nasty and your manhood get taken. But Terrence Howard will speak on powerful dudes who we know who are currently powerful. They will come into the industry and they will engage in these activities for their power, for their riches, for their fame. And they think that is never coming back to get them because they believe that this is just a secret that stays within the mode. But with everything currently going on, they have to know by now, bro. Yo, your secret is going to be aired out eventually.
That has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing.
That's to a lot of you freaky toes, bruh. A lot of you freaky toes in them talking about y'all, bruh. A celebrity who got their cheeks clapped and prostate played with, their favorite line is, I was at the parties, but I wasn't at the party. I was at every party every Saturday, but like I left before it got weird, bro. You freaky toes, bruh. That's their favorite line. I was at the party, but I left before things got weird. Whole time you was getting your cheeks and prostate rammed in every Saturday, bruh, by Diddy and his buff neck goons, bruh. Y'all is out of pocket.
Get punked out and pimped out by some over greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, you know, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head.
Bieber is probably one of the only ones I feel bad for because Bieber came into this industry and he got taken advantage of. And he got violated, bruh. You could see the interaction between Diddy and Bieber when Bieber got away from Diddy and Diddy caught up with Bieber in some function and started asking, oh, you don't pick up your phone no more, huh? Bro, what's up, Playboy? Where we going? So Bieber was clearly uncomfortable. Bieber was like, no, I lost your phone. I got a new phone. That's a victim. And there's apparently a rumor tape out there where, you know, Bieber is a part of one of the free golf tapes. That's what I heard from, you know, that lawyer Ariel, but, you know, she be capping, so I don't know. I heard it from a couple other sources, like the Fed documents described a very popular pop artist who's in the tapes, but we don't know if that pop artist is Bieber, but Bieber was somebody who was underage, so I don't feel like Bieber is somebody who got his manhood taken because Bieber was not somebody who could legally say yes. He got taken advantage of by people that was supposed to mentor him, just like Usher.
Hey, did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's,
man, you should have known at that point, bro. He was trying to get your cheeks, man. Ain't nobody in the history of Earth and the world ever said, throw that new Terrence Howard on, bro. Nobody in the history of Earth ever got in a whip and started and said, hey, Siri, blast that new Terrence Howard. Man, cut it out, bro. Why would you think a Grammy-nominated producer like Diddy, why would you think that he would want to hear your music? Like, yeah, Terrence Howard to me is willfully ignorant or willfully arrogant. To think that you make music profound enough that Diddy would want to hear, that's like me getting a call from, I don't know, bro, who, like Dr. Umar Johnson. And Umar Johnson tells me, hey, Flacco, come over and teach me how to speak. And then, what? Hey, Flacco, come over and teach me how to be an orator. I like that. Wait, right thing you be doing, huh? I know the back door coming, man. Right. So Umar Johnson asking me to teach him how to speak is like Diddy asking you to come and help him with his music. This Diddy. So you gotta know something was up. But eventually he found out. And when he found out, he put a stop to it.
sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers coming to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way.
Diddy liking men or Diddy being potentially homosexual isn't even a story here. The story is Diddy's sick fantasy, infatuation, obsessiveness with flipping straight men. It's a sickness that's currently going on in Diddy's head. Yo, Diddy don't want men who would actually volunteer and do it to him. No, Diddy gets joy and pleasure out of sort of overpowering that particular man, right? Imposing his will through his money, his power, his influence, and forcing that man to engage in activities that he wouldn't want to engage in. It's as if it's like a power trip with him, which is why he chose to bring Terrence Howard in, to weirdly hit on him when he could have just brought in any type of dude who's really on that with him. I forgot. I think it was Danny Boy, or no, it wasn't Danny Boy. It was somebody. I think it was Gene Deal, or a woman. Yes, it was a woman who walked in on Diddy doing some weird stuff. And this lady said that Diddy told her at some point that real power is getting a man who's straight to suck your D. That was his real statement to this woman who was like his secretary or his assistant. She walked on him doing some stuff, on him getting fellatio from one of the dudes who was in the building. And he left the door open. She got upset. He left the door open, so she confronted him about it. And he told her, "This is my place. I can do whatever I want." But also, too, real power is getting a straight man to suck your D. That was his thing, right? That's his stilo. And to me, that's the sick part. That's the part we got to really touch on. Because if you get pleasure and joy in overpowering a man, then you probably got some great fantasies too.
I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit, because the man card means everything.
I had no idea we're going to go this direction with the podcast. This is absolute. But listen, we've talked about it. We've had a lot of the guys on to talk about this stuff. Are you done with Hollywood because of this specific reason?
I'm still working. I still, I haven't made the money necessary to do all of the other stuff. So I still have to go and do the Chitlin circuit. I still have to do the job that I need to. But eventually, I've done what I set out to do, which was to redefine the universe. I've proven what I've set out to do, and that's why I have all the patents. Whether they evaluate it or not, that's up to them. But I've done the work and finished it.
And this is where I stop. When the Terrence Howard crazy schizophrenic thought starts coming out, this one I click off. Right? We got the Diddy part now, bro. But I believe him. I 100% believe him. Right? And even right now, man, when a lot of people, when we talk about Diddy currently being at trial, Diddy did a lot of horrors that he's not being charged with. And it's unfortunate that the things that he is being charged with are things that we look at, and you could really look at it and say to yourself, huh? Wait, hold up, that's a crime? Wait, hold up. Like Cassie admitted that he told her to pick out the men with the big D for her to be involved with. So she said that she wanted to give him his fantasy. Right? It feels like she was a willing participant in his free goals. Right? And even when he did beat her, that was horrific. And I think he should go to jail for a decade just for that alone. But that's past the statute of limitations. He can't go to jail for it. So the things that he's currently being charged with and on trial for are things that pale in comparisons to what he's not being charged with. All the other accusations that people are accusing him of outside of the actual indictment. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think, all right? Do you guys believe this? Let me know, okay? And if you're still watching, click on this video right here on my screen. Click on this video and watch this video right here. Sauce Walker goes off on claims that he got his artist Say So Pete killed after new video leaks. Click on this video right here to find out what I'm talking about. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.